Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody. It is Monday, April 13th, and you know what that means. It's time for the High Risk Wrestling Recap. I am your host, Jeremy Pierce. Check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram, and of course, the 215 on Twitter. And without further ado, let's get into the news. Surprisingly, TNA World Champion Mike Santana's contract is coming up sooner than you think. It looks like he will be up relatively shortly, probably about the summer. We'll see what happens, but they got to re-sign him. The real reason that this is so dumb that Asuka versus Io for WrestleMania hasn't been confirmed, or even the triple threat match Asuka, Io, and Kairi, is that they're waiting on Nikki Bella's injury. Because apparently if the Bellas can't go at WrestleMania, there's talk of putting the Kabuki Warriors in, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense, because you could put in the Judgment Day, you could put in Ren QCC, you could put in BFAB and Mi Chen, you could put in, I know I'm missing a team, you could put in Fatal Influence from NXT. Like, there are other teams you can put in there besides the Kabuki Warriors and ruining this story. It's dumb. It's really, really dumb. LOL TNA has happened, as they are pulling talent that are scheduled to face AEW wrestlers. Now, mind you, this comes after Jody Threat defeated Mercedes Moné for her championship, but Moose has been pulled. The planned Leon Slater Ricochet match for the Memorial Show taking place at WrestleMania weekend, that's been pulled. MJF versus Nick Nemeth has also been pulled, and no one is happy about this. This is just a bad look for TNA. The replacement match for the WrestleCon Super Show was supposed to be headlined by Leon Slater versus Ricochet has been announced. It will be the Demand taking on Jet Speed and Michael Oku. That will still be a fantastic match. The WrestleCon show looks to be really, really good. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be exciting. And Chris Jericho has signed a multi-year deal with AEW. The reason he did not go back to the WWE is they really just wanted him for a retirement run. They did not want him for an actual story. They just wanted him to come, nostalgia, retire. Whereas he can still go. If you've seen Dynasty from this past week, you can definitely see that Chris Jericho still has it. And I hate that we say you still got it, but it never left him. The Bound for Glory TNA pay-per-view date and location has been announced for Sunday, October 11th at the Yuengling Center in Toronto, in Tampa, Florida. As you all know, Bound for Glory is TNA's WrestleMania equivalent. Also, TNA announced pretty much a lot of the shows for the rest of the year, so it should be good. GCW has canceled all events at the Berwyn Eagles Hall after a fan incident forces the venue to shut down permanently. This has been a really solid wrestling venue in the Chicago area, home to GCW, hosted a lot of Shimmer events for decades. It looks like a fan got physically involved with the wrestler Cruel, leading to claims that Cruel was stabbed, but police confirmed that there was no stabbing that took place. We'll see what happens after this. And AAW addressed their shutdown. They confirmed the final show will close out the venue for good. AEW, Tony Khan has confirmed the Forbidden Door will be taking place this summer, and that Stardom will be involved. Thank the Lord. I need these American people to see the greatness that is Saya Kamatani. She is so good. Speaking of Stardom, Maki Ito is among many Stardom talents who had to leave, had to be pulled from the Las Vegas shows due to visa delays. She's been pulled, and a few other people have been pulled, which sucks because this is a really, really big weekend. This is WrestleMania week. Lance Archer's contract will be expiring soon. Looks like his contract will be up in July. He has been with AEW since the start of the company. He's a good hand, strong hand. He's currently involved with the Don Callis family. WXW, the famed independent promotion, will be making its long-awaited return, and it's home of Allentown, Pennsylvania. I never knew about this, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I live in Philly, born and raised. Allentown's just a short drive away, but a little history for you all. It is owned by Alpha Anoy Jr. The promotion was started by his father, Alpha Sr. And as you know, Sr. Passed away in 2024, and he felt like Jr. felt like bringing WXW back, not as just a nostalgia, but history, and bringing the values that his father instilled in the business: discipline, storytelling, respect, and giving fans something real. This is going to be good. Gable Steveson has signed a deal with UFC. His debut is set for UFC 329, which will be taking place on July 11th. On the injury side of things, there's been a lot. AEW's been hit with a couple injury bugs. Mark Quinn is out. Kyle Fletcher is out. And Kyle Fletcher had to vacate the TNT Championship. Gabe Kidd separated his shoulder at Dynasty. He will be out for the time being, anywhere from 4 to 6 months. Sucks for the dogs, especially with Double or Nothing and All In coming up. Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez are in concussion protocol after a nasty bump from Liv being pushed into Roxanne from Stephanie Becerra. Elio LaFleur has undergone successful surgery after his injury. As you know, he had to vacate the Speed Championship. The Hardys are dealing with multiple injuries ahead of TNA Rebellion, but they did dropping the titles. We'll get into that a little bit later. Lady Frost may have a broken nose, and Santino Marella is out. He will be having surgery to treat his sleep apnea, which is why he was written off of television. But that is the news, and we should be right back with the week in review. All right, you know how we do. Let's get into the week in review. We start with Monday Night Raw, and of course, CM Punk dropped a pipe bomb, and the show gets a fisk. CM Punk's a hypocrite. He entered through the crowd as they chanted OTC. He called Roman Reigns plastic, manufactured, and safe. He said he earned everything while Roman Reigns was handed everything. And he said he's dangerous because he can't be controlled and doesn't need approval. He then shifted his focus to Pat McAfee, saying he wrote a check he can't cash, and wants ticket prices lower so families can see him stand on Roman's store to WrestleMania. Mind you, when this aired on social media, the lower ticket prices was not aired. They cut that part out. We were backstage. I Show Speed, Danhausen, and Adam Pearce. Speed begged Danhausen to lift the curse, and Danhausen made many demands. He wants the mansion, he wants a whole bunch of stuff. And then we shifted to the Vision, and Logan Paul said Knight's attack was unforgivable. Theory warned the parking lot wasn't safe, and they sped away. Our first match was Austin Theory versus LA Knight. And Knight controlled this match early. Speed panicked and ran after Logan, after LA Knight confronted him earlier that week. You know, Knight had attacked Speed in his crib. The Usos appeared, trapping Speed until he dove into the ring, which caused a distraction, allowing Austin Theory to get to the W. LA Knight made a suggestion for a match at WrestleMania. It will be the Usos and LA Knight versus the Vision and I Show Speed. Yeah. I guess. Cole and Graves talked about Matt McAfee last week, and Michael Cole was rightfully upset. Finn Balor prepared for his match, and Kofi and Grayson were arguing, and the Finn Balor match never got started as he was jumped by the Judgment Day. Dom jumped him, JD jumped him, and the match didn't get started. Okay, looks like we're going to get this match at WrestleMania. Then we got the sit-down interview between AJ and, well, it was originally AJ with Michael Cole, and then Becky interfered, took over the interview. She mocked Cole, accused AJ Lee of fakeness, and Lee said, "Look, I paved the way for you, and I'm your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler." Lee ended with, "Well, I'll see you at Mania." And this was different from the yelling that these two did before, and Becky looked visibly shook. Bayley took on Lash Legend in a solid match. Bayley got the W after interference from the other tag teams. She won with the Superplex. I'm happy that the Superplex won a match. We then got Seth Rollins, who made his entrance, and he said he has two missions: to reclaim the title that he never lost, and to kill the... He accused Gunther of aligning with Heyman and making things personal. Gunther attacked him again. Seth almost hit Gunther with a stomp, but Gunther overpowered him and threw him over the announce desk. We got the match at Mania, and Gunther said, "Listen, things are personal, and you owe me a favor, Paul Heyman." We got a recap of Liv and Stephanie. Then we led us to Penta and Dragon Lee versus Penta, Dragon Lee, and Javon Evans versus the Americanos, and a solid match. This was fine for what it was. The faces won here. Rey Mysterio made his return, and he will be entering into the ladder match as well, the one that's for the Intercontinental Championship. Yeah, nothing really much of the note there. We got the Hall of Fame plug, AJ Styles, Demolition, Stephanie McMahon, Sid Vicious, Dennis Rodman, and Bad News Brown. Asuka said Io self-finish tore their family apart and reminded her that she will always be her senpai. I'm going to be very, 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 very upset if this match does not happen at WrestleMania. Rhea and Io took on Michin and B-Fab. This was easy work for Io and Rhea. But of course, after the match, they got beat down. And Sky tried to make the save, but Jade overpowered both her and Rhea Ripley. Stephanie Fakir attacked Roxanne and Liv backstage, pushed Liv right into Roxanne. They knocked heads. Go online, check out the socials with the bump they had on the head. We ended the show with the contract sign between Oba and Brock. Paul Heyman was there. Paul Levesque was there. Adam Pearce was there. Heyman interrupted. Lesnar was like, whatever. Oba came out, and as soon as he got onto the apron, Lesnar attacked him. It was all for naught. Oba overpowered Brock, ran into the ring post and shoving him through the table. Security broke them up. This is the most interesting match going on for WrestleMania, and it can't even be denied. Like, this is the best match that they got going on for us. Over on Dynamite, this was the go home show for Dynasty. This show gets a thumbs up. We open up with the Death Riders arriving, but being confronted by Will Ospreay and the United Empire. Kala Newman, the New Japan World Champion, Hinari, Akira, and Alex Windsor. And it was on. They fought backstage. They fought in the parking lot. They fought to the ring, and Ospreay challenged the Death Riders to match Chaos in Canada. Don Callis made the unfortunate announcement that Kyle Fletcher is injured and he has to relinquish the TNT championship. And look, he refused to book Okada versus Takeshita because he likes when his people don't get along. So Takeshita will compete in the upcoming 6-man tag match, which put us with Darby, Bandido, who's replacing Brody King. Brody King was out on some family business. Jack Perry taking on Takeshita, Andrade, and Mark Davis in a fun tag team encounter. This was really, really good. Ultimately, the Don and Callis family won after the match. Andrade, Lobo, Darby, because you got their match going on, and Callis went straight for Jack Perry's eyes since he's taking on Mark Davis on the pre-show, and Okada arrived to stop the Bucks from interfering. Takeshita knocked down Matt, and Okada Takeshita brawled. Lance Archer, Hechicero, and El Clon separated them. Then the Rascals helped to clear the family out of the ring. This is just good stuff right here. Doc Samson said that Omega's post-surgical complications are there, but he is cleared and he is in great shape. Willow and Aminata prepare for the match, and that led us to the TBS Championship. Willow Nightingale putting the title on the line against Queen Aminata in her return match. Aminata jumped Willow after the early handshake, and it was a good match. Aminata had to work off the ring. Rashida was watching from the entryway as Aminata dominated before they went to the commercial break. Willow rallied, hit the pounce, and won with the Babe with the power bomb. They shook hands, and Shida wasn't happy. Jericho made his return. Look, he said he's in the best shape of his life, and before he can really get into his old spiel, Ricochet confronted him, said AEW's moved on and nobody wants you here, claimed that he's the reason ratings and attendance are up. Jericho fired back saying, listen, I don't care about you, Ricochet. But in my contract, I get to choose my opponent for Dynasty. And you know what, Ricochet? You just made the list. Just good stuff. So yeah, Ricochet Jericho at Dynasty. Don Callis announced that the Bucks will be taking Okada and Takeshita at Dynasty. Said they must unite. Everybody must unite. The entire family must unite for Kyle Fletcher. And look, Pippen and Jordan just won. Okada told Takeshita, "You're a Pippen, and I'm Jordan." Okada, man, I tell you. Ciampa took on Mascara Dorado. Winner gets the #1 spot in the Casino Gauntlet match. Obviously, Ciampa was going to win this match, and it was a solid match, but he won this match easily. I wish there was someone else besides Mascara Dorado. That's not a knock on Dorado. It's just that he never had a shot at winning this match. We were backstage with the Dogs, who were coming for the conglomeration. Thekla threatened Lexi, Nair, Y, and promised to break Jamie Hayter at Dynasty. Copeland Christian said jealousy and pettiness blew up rated FTR, and said that Christian, he will reclaim the championships at the pay-per-view. Christian said he visited both their mothers and Stokely's. FTR interrupted. Rocky Romero Tribaretta then attacked Copeland Christian. And they brutalized Christian and hit him with the arm assistance. Now they pulmonized his arm. Darby was backstage, said he cares deeply and fears not being enough, and he wants the championship. He's got to go through Andrade. Our main event was the United Empire versus the Death Riders in Chaos in Canada. This was just essentially anarchy in the arena in Canada. This was just fun. This was they brawled before the bell even interrupted. Alex Windsor was there to nullify Marina Shafir, and this was a good look for the United Empire, just to get eyes on them on TV. I expect them to be at Forbidden Door, maybe even Double or Nothing. Let's see how we do with an Anarchy in the Arena match. But ultimately, the United Empire won the match. The main focus was on Callum Newman, as he is the protege of Will Ospreay, but the real star of this match was Hanare. The dude was just awesome here. After the match, Ospreay tried continuously to attack Mox, but Claudio pulled Mox to safety. Then we got the sit down between MJF and Kenny Omega, and this was just good. They did everything here to promote the match, and they knocked it out of the park better than whatever the WWE is doing. Omega thanked Edmonton, that's where they were, and he said AEW's were the best wrestle, and MJF just runs his mouth, and he said he's responsible for saving the wrestling. MJF interrupted, said, look, Omega's scared and run out of time, said you're not 100%, and he declared that Omega will learn he's not on the level of the devil. Omega offered a handshake. Well, MJF, of course, being MJF, tried to cheap shot him. Omega dropped him, removed the diamond ring, and said, listen, this is what we're going to do. Good night. Bang. It's a good way to end the show. Over Impact, this was the Rebellion Go Home show. So we opened up with a contract signed between Eddie Edwards and Mike Santana for the World Championship match at Rebellion. Eddie said Santana abandoned TNA when they needed him, while he stayed and fought and vowed to win the title again. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, Eddie is a former TNA champion. People forget that. Santana said he left to test himself and return because his heart is in TNA. If you all don't know, Santana, Ortiz, and Eddie all left TNA, went over to AEW. Eddie insulted Santana's daughter. Santana fired back, saying Eddie's wife has more balls than him. Cedric blindsided Santana until Leon Slater made the save. Slater did a dive over the ring post to take out Eddie and Cedric. Backstage with AJ Francis, he said he turned down the Cleveland Browns and Nick Nemeth stole the opportunities from him. I forgot Nick Nemeth played for the Browns. Vowed to beat Nemeth in his own hometown of Cleveland. First match was Jada Stone versus Danny Luna in a very shocking victory. As Tasha Steelz was on commentary for this match, Danny Luna used the distraction to take control and power bumps Jada on the apron, but Stone rided with a split-legged moonsault and a twisting moonsault for the W. Tasha attacked Jada Stone after the match and hit her with a power driver. This was also Danny Luna's last match, as she did request a release from TNA. She is a free agent. We got the injury report. Elijah ended up attacking. Well, no, he got attacked by Kazarian in a cemetery, and Frankie Kazarian paid the kid off because Elijah was praying with a child there. Taryn Terrell made her return to thank the fans before the Elegance brand interrupted her. And backstage footage showed Mickie James and ODB being laid out. Elegance brand ended up attacking Taryn and the security. Mr. Elegance slammed her, and Heather and M hit the nip and tuck. The concierge said they would bury the past at Rebellion. Santino confronted Stacks and Grace. A scuffle broke out as Santino went after Stacks and Grace as Indy Hartwell helped him out. And Indy brought back the Cobra. BDE took on Frankie Kazarian with Kaz getting the W. Hit the backstabber Chicken Wing and scored the W. Nick Nemeth attacked BDE after the match. Lights went out and Elijah appeared chasing Frankie Kazarian away. Molly Grace took on Elena Black, and Elena Black got this W. This match went about 3 minutes. We were then with Daria Ray, who suspended Santino and Indy because you can't insult talent, I guess, but there's more to this. Daria Ray is going to get what's coming to her. Ricky Sosa made his Dynamite debut and introduced himself before Eric Young attacked him and called him a pretender. They brawled, but ultimately Eric Young dropped him with a power driver. Then we went over to the Undead Realm, ladies and gentlemen. The Sinister Minister, welcome Tessa Blancard. Rosemary warned Mars today about the dangers of the Undead Realm. Ali introduced herself as dead and sick of it. Mila Moore wandered through the halls before being kidnapped by someone, and Abyss appeared. Said, "Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned." The Undead Realm is the best thing going in TNA, man. It's just, there's so much history there, and we're using this to bring back Ali. The Abyss being there was also the cherry on top. Order 4 called out Trey Miguel. Ali apologized for what happened to Jada Stone, but said TD's culture was broken. He's here to fix it. He called out Santana and Trey, called them second chance champions, and vowed to defeat Trey. Trey said he needed a second chance, but TNA is like family. Moose and Lucia Edwards made the save as Order 4 attacked Ali. Main event match was Matt and Jeff Hardy taking on the Righteous. The World Tag Team Championships were on the line. Hardys ended up retaining here. Really, really solid. The Hardys ended up attacking. Hardys ended up getting attacked after the match to continue this feud. In the Rebellion results, ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Nemeth on the pre-show defeated BDE. Leon Slater defeated Cedric Alexander to retain the X Division Championship. Cass defeated Elijah with a low blow. Special Agent Zero defeated Moose. We had the Hardcore Country Street Fight. The Elegance brand ended up defeating Mickie James, ODB, and Taryn Terrell. Nick Nemeth defeated AJ Francis. Ariana Grace defeated Lei Ying Lee after Zaya Brookside turned on her tag team partner. So Ariana Grace retained the Knockouts Championship. Ali defeated Trey Miguel to win the International Championship. Bear Bronson and Brian Myers defeated the Hardys to become the new tag team champions. So now the men's tag team titles are up in the system. Mike Santana defeated Eddie Edwards in the main event to retain the World Championship. Overall, this was a mixed bag pay-per-view with 2 excellent title matches, the X Division and International title match, but there was an unnecessary undercard, and even though the Hardcore Country match was fun, it played better live than it did when you watched it. The Hardys were obviously over, but them losing the titles kind of deflated the crowd, and it caused a mass exodus. Santana and Eddie Edwards put on a good show, but are you going to remember as the crowd leaving after the Hardys lost? Over on SmackDown, what are we doing here? Seriously, what are we doing here? Cody arrived, wanted to know where Pat McAfee was. The show gets I don't even know if I want to give the show a fist. Nick Aldis told Cody he's under strict orders to prevent Cody from touching Pat McAfee. Cody asks who does Aldis answer to, and Aldis says someone above him. Jay Lethal arrived, said this isn't about McAfee, it's about Cody and Orton, and Cody's fighting for something bigger than himself. Just celebrity. WrestleMania's gonna be ass. Anyway, Rhea called out Jade for attacking Io. Io came out and said, listen, her, even her arm is taped up. She wanted a match with Jade tonight, and Rhea warned her, you're not 100%. Let me go after Jade. And Io was like, no, I got this. All this made the match. Bayley and Lyra were shown and checking up, and this led to Bayley versus Alexa Bliss. Somehow, some way, obviously we know how a take that back. Charlotte interfered, throwing her jacket at Bayley, allowing Alexis to win with the schoolboy roll-up, because on any day, Alexa Bliss would not be able to defeat Bayley. Then we got Trick, Mello, Matt Cardona, and Yachty. Matt confronted, Cardona told Mello, be patient, you'll get your WrestleMania moment. Matt did get his win of the United States Championship at WrestleMania. Trick confronted Mello about last week and said, listen, I'm sorry, I know we got history, but I did not intend for you to lose. And Yaki was stirring. I don't fucking care. Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu, a vignette aired with them. McIntyre called Fatu a failure as a man and as a father, and promised to be his judge, jury, and executioner. Kathy Kelly interviewed Fatu before Solo and MFTs interrupted. Solo mocked Fatu's past, and Tamataka stared him down. So we gonna get that match. Royce Keys made his debut. We got a vignette about his history, and then he ran through Berto. That was it. Very underwhelming. Man debuted at the Royal Rumble, and we didn't see him for 3 months. McAfee arrived to loud boos, saying he saved the business one RKO at a time. Jelly Roll confronted him about last week, and McAfee dismissed him as an outsider. What? Jelly Roll shoved him out and intervened before anything could go get any worse than that. Which led us to the ring. And this segment between Pat and Cody was a lot. Where to start? Pat insulted the crowd, trashed CM Punk, called him a fraud. He's right. CM Punk is a fraud and hypocrite, because everything CM Punk says is just backed by money. That's just a fact. CM Punk is a hypocrite. Said that Orton will save the business. Cody came out. Cody said McAfee doesn't belong here and just playing a wrestler living out a fantasy. Said fans are marked, their family, blah blah blah. Pat told Cody, you're a cosplay champion you're fake. You got fake teeth, fake tan, and you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth. Said, look, if Orton doesn't win at Mania, I will leave. Cody then mocked. It was just dumb. They showed Jelly Roll on screen, and it's led to Cody getting his ass beat one more time. I just want to get past WrestleMania at this point. I just want to get past WrestleMania. Orton and Pat left together, and Pat told the IWC that they were welcome. Miz was with Kit Wilson, and Miz complained about referee Dan Engler stopping the count last week, and Aldis said Engler was cursed and out of his control. That's what we're doing. Kit protested, and Aldis booked him in the match. Miz yelled, there is no curse. We got Jacob Fatu versus Tama Tonga. Solid match. Jacob Fatu won with the mighty moonsault. McIntyre attacked Fatu after the match and choking him out with a chain. Then Truth explained how to use the ESPN app to watch the pay-per-views. Dan Allison vowed to beat Kit Wilson and take over the world. Priest joined, leading to whatever. I'm as you can tell, I am very much over SmackDown. Sammy said fans want change, and he's giving them something real. And it looks like we might be doing a double turn with Sammy and Trick. They did the usual shtick. Sammy wants to know why fans are turning on him. It's because we want Melo at Mania and we're getting a little yachty, whatever. Sammy said fans don't love Trick. Told that straight to Trick's face, and he'll beat him at WrestleMania. He's going to drag him down into the deep waters. Matt Cardona took on Trick Williams. This match went 13 minutes for some odd reason. Of course, Trick Williams won because all Matt Cardona does since he's come back to the WWE is lose and lose and lose. Danhausen had his first match. He ended up cursing Kit Wilson again and winning the match. This was really, really fun. Miz tried to attack with the lights went out, and Danhausen was already running up the ramp. Our main event was Io versus Jade, and even though Io was hurt, she put up a valiant effort. She did not get the W. Jade ended up beating her up after the match, and Rhea came out to check on her friend. This was tough, man. This was really, really, really tough SmackDown to ultimately get through. It was a hard to watch. Dynasty go home show for Collision. This show wasn't hard to watch. It gets a thumbs up. Our opening contest was Mystico and Jetspeed putting the trio championship on the line against the Dogs. Solid match. The trios division is cooking with all of these teams. A lot of nice back and forth action, but ultimately the Dogs won to become your new trios champions. I think it was inevitable for them to become the champions. After the match, Roderick Strong and Orange Cassidy appeared on screen saying, "Yo, we laying down the challenge. We have a mystery partner for the show." We were backstage with the United Empire, and Ospreay stood with Hanari, Akira, Kyle Newman, what's her name, Alex Windsor, and said he's always got backup, and he told Mox, well, Sunday it'll be me and you with no interference and no excuses. Chris Statlander, Hikaru Shida took on Ava Lawless and Gigi Ray. Easy match here. Stat and Shida got the W. But after the match, Shida looked a little annoyed with Stat because she stole the finish. But I don't know, this is so intriguing what's going on with Statlander. We got a video package for Hiyana Maya, where we'll be taking on the Divine Domain for the tag titles at Dynasty. Mox was backstage with the Death Riders. And look, he praised the chaotic Dynamite main event and congratulated the United Empire. It said Ospreay's headstrong, but 20 minutes with him was a long time with a neck like that. And he declared it. Death Riders are against the world. All right. Rouge took on Anthony Bowens. The winner gets the number 2 entry in the Casino Gauntlet match. Solid match, but Rouge put his thing down, defeated Anthony Bowens. It's getting harder and harder for Anthony Bowens to prove himself to Hook and the Ops. The Brawling Birds were backstage. Windsor promised Marina Shafir she would join Moxley on the shelf, and Hayter said Thekla used to be afraid to get hit, and well, she'll hit harder at the pay-per-view. The Hurt Syndicate made their long way to return, won a quick squash match, easy breezy money. They are recruiting. Let's see who's going to end up joining. We're backstage with Mina and Harley. Lexi found them slumped on the sofa, disheveled and defeated. Harley said all they have left is hope. Let's take the champagne straight to the head from the bout. The Young Bucks took on Don Kyle's family members Hechicero and Clon. Just go and watch this match, ladies and gentlemen. The Young Bucks are a great tag team. Hechicero's a great technical wrestler, and Clon is a freak of nature. The dude is so good. This was an awesome tag team match. Ultimately, with the Bucks getting the W, this might have been my favorite match of the entire weekend. Maybe. Okada put the Continental Championship, the International Championship on the line against Myron Reed. Okada had Archer and Don Kyle's by his side, while Reed had the Rascals. Okada controlled early with some corner strikes and a cheap shot, but Reed fired back. Ultimately, Reed hit an apron to floor cutter that wasn't enough to put Okada down, who survived the no-cap splash, hit the tombstone, dropped him with the Rainmaker. Still your international champion. Willow Nightingale praised Dominata for Dynamite and said, listen, open challenge to anyone, anytime, anywhere. And if you don't know, go check out what just happened, because someone answered that challenge. Leaning across to Megan Bain said, look, holding these tag titles proves that we are the best. And Hiyana Maya World, you're Admiral, but you're nowhere near our level. Let's see how you do at the pay-per-view. Our main event was the Brawling Birds taking on Thekla and Marina Shafir. This was a good, solid tag team match. I love that this was the main event. Ultimately, the Brawling Birds got the W because they are a tag team. Even though Marina Shafir and Thekla are really good tag teams, bona fide tag teams should always be 2 single stars thrown together. This match was very, very heavy on the strikes, some strong style, because these women are all brawlers, and it really, really worked well. The Brawling Birds got the W. Marina smiled on the mat because she knows something is up. Matches of the week, we had a lot, ladies and gentlemen. We had a lot, and of course they were mainly from AEW. From TNA Rebellion, we got 2 of them things: Leon Slater and Cedric Alexander for the X Division Championship, and Ali and Trey Miguel for the International Championship. From Dynamite, Andrade, Takeshita, and Mark Davis versus Bandido, Jack Perry, and Darby Allin. The Chaos in Canada match, United Empire versus the Death Riders. From Collision, the Young Bucks versus Clon and Hechicero. And then a bunch of matches from Dynasty. That was a 9-match card, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of the 9 main match of the week. So we got the Young Bucks versus Okada and Takeshita. Just great stuff here. Probably the best match on the entire show. Darby Allin versus Andrade. FTR versus Cope and Christian for the men's tag team championship. Thekla, Jamie Hayter for the women's championship. Moxley, Ospreay for the Continental championship. And of course the men's world championship, MJF and Kenny Omega. Just good stuff here. Just really, really good stuff all around. Our stars of the week, Ali, Camille, Kyle O'Reilly, the Conglomeration, the Dogs, Kevin Knight, and Royce Key. So just a good mixed bag. A lot of these people won championships over the weekend. It's a good weekend for wrestling. Minus WWE. But that's our show, ladies and gentlemen. Look on the screen what we got coming up. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. You can check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram, and of course the 215 on Twitter. I see you when I see you. Peace.